Quiet Place is the latest film from director John Krasinski. He also starred in this film with his wife Emily Blunt, and this movie is about a family living in a post-apocalyptic time where there are these creatures who can't see anything, but they can hear extremely well, and any small noises they can pick up on, they'll find you and kill you. So this family is now living in complete silence all the time, trying to survive from these creatures that are lurking pretty much everywhere. I haven't seen John Krasinski's other two films that he's directed, but I am a big fan of his as an actor, and I couldn't wait to see what he did with this film because from the trailer, it looked very intriguing. It's quite honestly one of the best trailers I've seen in recent memory, but at the same time, the gimmick of the film should lead to a great trailer like that. So I was wondering if the gimmick would get old really quickly, would it get stale, would it get dry? And it didn't. John Krasinski nailed this thing, dude. From a directing standpoint, this is horror films done extremely well. This movie has some great sound design where even the smallest little noises will have you being jumpy. Because the movie is taking you to this world where loud noises get you killed, but the people still make small little noises whenever they walk around and move small things. So you think, are these small noises going to have monsters come to them? Or are they going to die right here? You're never quite sure if the people are safe, no matter what they're doing. And I think that led to some really great suspenseful moments. And there's even a few false jumps in this movie that I didn't mind. There's a few real jump scares that happen with actual creatures that look great, by the way, but there are a few false jumps in there that I thought also help build suspense and get you engrossed in the world. Like there's one near the beginning of the film where it just turns out to be like just some random animal, and I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. But then 30 seconds after they reveal, yeah, even though that was an animal this time, they were never really that safe to begin with if you look over here. And I thought, oh wow, so it turns out that this false jump could have been much worse. And also it just best shows what kind of state they're living in. They're always in fear of messing up and getting killed because of an accidental noise they make. So in that sense, this movie is completely engrossing. Like the audience I was in, like during the previews and all that, they were talking and I was like, oh god, please don't talk through this movie, that's gonna be like really silent. But then like first frame pops up and like there's like little noise going on, everyone hushed. And throughout the rest of the film, like there wasn't even like any laughter or any like talking other than just like like kind of those moments. And that was amazing. I don't think I've ever been a part of an audience where during the previews everyone's kind of being annoying, but then as soon as the movie starts, dead silent. Like, I don't think that's ever happened before. And that's really great when your film is actually able to have an entire audience just shut up and stop being annoying for about an hour and a half and enjoy the great thrills that we have, because they have a really great story here. The way they go about the story in this film makes sure that the gimmick never really gets old. They have really unique scenarios and really unique direction going on in each scenario that helps you get even more attached to the story as it goes on, helps build this fear as well. This movie also does a good job getting you introduced to the world without needing like an opening credits montage of news stories and all that going on. Like it opens Day 89, you're already far into this event, and they already have found a way to kind of live in this world, like walking barefoot on sand whenever they go anywhere, using like lettuce for plates and all that, and never like saying anything out loud when praying, and like playing board games with the like soft pieces and rolling the dice on this carpet instead of the actual board. And there's other stuff like that that helps you show how the people that are surviving are actually living, and it helps you realize like, okay, they found a way to do it. As far as building the world, there's only one flaw I had with that, because in the beginning of the film there's a decision, a really dumb decision made by someone that I just thought, for Day 89 it feels like this wouldn't happen. It helps with the rest of the film's plot, and it's like near the beginning, so who cares, but it's like, I feel like Day 89, you should have learned this by now, especially since the past 5 minutes they've tried to tell you, like, don't make this decision, then it happens anyway. Like, that was just kind of dumb. As far as any other problems, there's like one other false jump scare that I thought didn't need to be there, but that's kind of it. And there's also some moments where the score, even though I enjoyed the score overall by Marco Beltrami, there are a few moments where I think they could have cut the score out and had just the film be completely silent at that point. But other than those, like, really small, like, almost kind of nitpicky things, like, I didn't really have other flaws with this film. I thought it was very fantastic. And no, I'm not pulling a Ready Player One here, because although I love the technical aspects, like the directing and cinematography and the scare sequences and how they're all crafted, but I also really enjoyed the characters in this film. John Krasinski was great as the director of this film and also the star of this film. And I just find it so impressive that he can have so much range, where he can go from The Office and be so comedic and then go to 13 13 Hours, which is a little more drama related, and then to this, which is just a pure, straight up horror performance. And I love that about John Krasinski. He's a really talented dude, but Emily Blunt, I think this is like her movie pretty much. She kind of stole the show. Her performance like gives you everything you want and more out of this concept, especially one particular sequence. I can't spoil what goes down, but Jesus Christ, whoever wrote that, whether it was Krasinski or one of the other two writers, messed up, but well worth it. Oh my god, like I want to watch that sequence again, but at the same time, I was terrified watching it the first time. So that's really great when you have a horror film where you want to watch it again, but at the same time, you're scared to watch it again. Because this is one of those films where the suspense is going on throughout the entirety of its runtime. There's really no moment, for me at least, where I thought they are completely safe and they have nothing to fear. I can relax. Like, I never relaxed during this movie. And a lot of that has to do with the great performances that they have in this film, especially from the children actors. Like, they were actually legit good. And I was a little worried about that at first, but they actually turned out some pretty solid performances. Especially the actress Millicent Simmons, who is actually deaf in real life and was in a movie Wonderstruck. I haven't seen it, but I heard some good things about it. She was fantastic in this film. Like, honestly, one of the better child actor performances I've seen in recent memory. She was so good in here. She has so much to do, too, and she's able to convey so much with her performance. She's very talented. I hope she has a bright future ahead of her, as well as the other kid. And the performances given by the actors, when you see the fear on their face, it seems genuine. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm looking at nothing, but I'm scared right now. Like, they actually seem terrified of these creatures. And speaking of the creatures, they are brilliantly well designed. Like, they look so good. Not only just do they look realistic in this world, but they also, just the way they look, the way they move, the way they sound, like, oh my god, they're terrifying. So the performances were all fantastic. The direction from John Krasinski is very good. The screenplay, I thought, worked very well. I'm sure there are some people that are complaining about the abrupt ending that they have, and yeah, I can agree it is abrupt, but at the same time, when I saw it, it was like, I kind of get the gist. Like, I didn't really need to see the rest of that scene that they kind of showed at the ending of the film. Like, I kind of got the gist and they didn't really need to show it. So it was an abrupt ending that I thought kind of worked in the film's favor. And I can't talk enough about the screenplay because the way they constructed this film, the gimmick never wore off and it was able to show really unique things within each sequence, and I really adore that about this film. There's so many great horror movie moments in this film, and who would have thought that John Krasinski would have been able to come up with this and direct it so perfectly. Besides from those few minor things that I mentioned earlier about the score and one dumb decision and one false jump that are, like I said earlier, kind of borderline nitpicky, I really don't have any other flaws with this film. I'm sure there are some people out there that will try to pick apart like the world they live in, but I think they did a really good job establishing the world and making it make sense, to me at least. I'm gonna give A Quiet Place an A. This movie has so many great suspenseful moments, some great direction, cinematography, but there's also great characters and there's also a great personal story going on in there that I really adore, because the greatest horror films don't just focus on the scares, they also will focus on the characters and take time with them. And that's why I really love this movie overall, is that even though it works very well on a technical horror filmmaking aspect, the characters are also standing out, especially with the great performances given by the actors. But if you've seen A Quiet Place, leave in the comments below of what you thought of it, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.